Test. Hello? Is this thing on? Can someone confirm if my audio is working? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, and thank you very much for waiting. That was technical odyssey. I wanted to start with something that I couldn't properly set up. Let me try one more time. Hello and welcome to a small tour around the flight deck of a Drake. Okay. Was that working? I don't know. I should have tried that sooner. That's an intro that I will never use again because it is Starjump's intro that I was allowed to use for that one video. And I just thought the intro was so cool that I should use it at least one more time. And before we start jumping back into the Ironclad building thing, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Invictus and what happened there. And how you liked it, and how I liked it, and do a bit of a recap. Because obviously I haven't done much since then because I needed a little break, and I will need a little more break, to be honest, because I did way too much. Right, so before I go back to the Blender view, let's let this Kraken tour running in the background just so we have some visuals. I assume you've seen that video. But what are your thoughts on this Invictus? Did you like the changes that they did? Because me specifically, there's basically just two emotions that I have. Obviously, that with the Idris was pretty nice surprise. Well, surprise is a bit much, but was cool that it was there. But what was more important for me, I'm not sure what my opinion is, there were no concept sales, and technically that's a good thing. There's so much stuff that they had finished, and I honestly prefer that, but it was a bit annoying for me because I said before that I would do a nice set of streams building the interior of whatever they have as concept chips, and there weren't any, so nothing to do for me. But I'm not sure if I would want more concept chips or if just having finished project, like even stuff like the Asgard that was not even properly leaked before, if that is maybe the better thing, if I just don't think about me doing content. And then apart from that, I was not too happy with the concept halls they did. I like the new visuals and the new podiums they built there. The expo hall got a nice little facelift, but I was a bit disappointed that it was not changing from day to day, that it was the same every single day from the start. I always enjoyed jumping in every 2 days and looking at the different ships, even though I knew all of them already, but just felt yeah, the same after 2 days. That's my only... That was the only thing that I wasn't too happy with. Right. How much thruster power does the main engine have of the Kraken? I don't know. I don't think that is decided yet. And I also don't know how many retro thrusters we would need Grim. We can have a look at the model in a second if you want to know. But yes, that is the Kraken. That is not what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the Ironclad, but I just have this Kraken video running in the background. If you haven't seen that, have a look at that Kraken tour video on my channel that I did with Grim. I think that was pretty fun. Actually, let me just spend 5 more minutes talking about Invictus, because I did so much stuff. So I managed to get out 3 videos. That was more than I would usually do, and it was a lot of work, honestly. And I always plan to just have 2 or 3 videos finished when Invictus starts, have them release on the respective manufacturer days, and then just sit back and relax, but that never works out. I always finish 1 if I'm good, and it was the same this time. I finished the Galaxy video in time, and then had to finish the other 2 while Invictus was running, and basically I was working from morning to evening to finish all of these. I could just release them later or sooner or whatever, but I just really enjoy having them with Invictus. It's not even that I get more views during Invictus or anything like that. At least nothing that I could really measure. But I just like the idea of having this big 1 or 2 weeks of presentations where I just have my stuff matching that. So I will stress myself about that in the future too, probably, but I will try to prepare it a little longer. But yeah, the Galaxy video, I had been working on that for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. Not every day, but like from idea to final thing. And then the Paladin I had already. I mean, basically, you if you've been on the channel, you've seen the last version that I had, which was very bare bones, and so I added all those details in that video within a little less than a week. And I didn't finish all rooms, but still I was quite happy with the amount of stuff that I built in that week. And the lighting was pretty nice, but that video already had 20,000 frames. And I mean, the engine I'm using for rendering is quite fast, but it's not a real-time engine. It's not Unreal or something like that, where you just let it play once and then it's done. I had to render all those frames, and while the render times are quite low, 20,000 frames are a lot. So I had to use my render farm, but that is not really a proper render farm. It's just a lot of computers that I can use, and I was up all night running from computer to computer, managing all of that just to finish that second video. And I was quite happy with that tour too. And then there was only like 5 days left of Invictus, and at that point I knew that the Ironclad was not coming, but at the same time I knew that I could not finish the the whole tour for the Ironclad. And so I talked to Grim and said, wouldn't it be cool if we just do this thing together? Yeah, again, I hope you've seen that. It's a 20-something minutes talk with Starjump Grim about the Kraken. I said to him that I want to do the same tour thing that I have, which is more or less scripted and not just us rambling around like a podcast, like a bit more polished. But at the same time, we didn't have too much time to prepare. And for that and for a first try, I was pretty happy with it, even though I had to cut and edit it quite a bit to be as well, it was not that clean and not that polished, but it was more polished than us just talking, because the original talk was about twice that length. if you've seen it, the in the beginning when I say, hey Grim, give me your short summary what the Kraken is from your head, and then he does, and then I say, I can't believe that that was from the top of his head. In between that, it was 12 minutes of him just talking without a stop. He just had all this information in it. I had to cut that down because the video in the end was just more of a monologue, even though it was highly interesting, and I should release the rest too, but it was just I knew at that point that I couldn't render the video at that length, so I had to make some adjustments. But I just hope that you liked it, because both he and I were pretty happy with it. It was pretty well received, both in views and comments, and yeah, there were a lot of nice comments saying that we have a nice energy together, which I felt the same. That was quite nice with Grim. And apparently he already has another project lined up that he wants to do with me. And the interior for the Kraken, I just a day before we wanted to do this, I just started throwing stuff together and building some blocked out for just that one long corridor. And so the moment where he is in the corridor and is kind of surprised, I mean, he's not totally surprised because he's just not the super surprisey emotional guy, but he didn't see it before, so that was a real surprise for him to see the kind of part of the interior that I managed to fix. At that point, I felt that the Kraken is very, very hard to... The interior is very, very hard to build compared to other ships, because there is just not as much material. There's just really one side view, which absolutely does not explain how the corridors work next to each other. It's just a side view, and there's a lot of guesswork. And so I worked mostly off those artworks they have. But I think if and when I might continue working on the Kraken, that will be a lot more guesswork than the Galaxy or Ironclad, where we have a lot more material to work off. Still, I also felt that it's quite more... No, that's not right. I wanted to say more interesting than I thought. I always knew that the Kraken is super interesting, but it really caught me. So I would actually like to continue working on the Kraken now, but I should do the Ironclad first. And what they said is true for me too. If I do the Ironclad first, I will have a lot of parts that I can reuse on the Kraken. So that's a little bit of update from my Invictus Odyssey. Let me just try to catch up with chat for everyone who is new. I just can't do both at the same time. I'm not a good streamer. It's that simple. I can do one thing at a time. No questions. Just some discussion about the BMM. Fair enough. And yes, this is not the Ironclad. We'll get there soon. You've built... No, I have not built this before CIG. This sorry, this is for Vegas specifically. This is the CIG model. This is the not the holoviewer model. This is the cinematic model they use for the I don't know. It was used in the Nyx demo last CitizenCon. It was, I think it's still the same that was used back then in the Lawville demo. Whatever, whenever they have a Kraken flying through the background, that is this model. So I did not build this. Will you build the Genesis eventually? It's on the very long list of things that I would have to do and I would like to do. But honestly, the list is so long that I don't want to I don't want to answer that. I'll do the Ironclad right now. I'll probably do the Kraken afterwards because they are so similar. High up my list currently is the Misk Odyssey. I think that's quite interesting because we haven't seen as much about it. The Arastra is still interesting. And yes, the Starliner for me is absolutely on the list too. I like that very much myself. And it's more realistic than the BMM, which is just heavy. No, not heavy, it's the alien stuff is just very hard to build for me. It's the same as for CIG, so we'll see. I'm not doing the Bengal anytime, but I have actually spent a second of thought about building something for the Pegasus. That is one of the designs I'm most interested in when it comes to the big ships. I don't know why, but that is really, I don't know. I like the Pegasus. Thoughts on alien ships like the Raylan or Vandal ships? Thoughts in what kind? How I like them? How I think about what I think about building them? Generally, I think that the alien ships overall are quite amazing. I think the Banu stuff, like the Defender and the BMM, that's cool and highly hard to build because it's so round and so organic. But the Getech stuff is what I like the most. The Getech designs are just amazing. The materials on the Sulin, it really feels out of this world. So the Raylan, oh, that's absolutely on my list of things that I would like to do too. The Raylan is one of the most interesting concepts. Like not the best ships on the upcoming or anything. I just think visually and all these angles and weird elevators and everything, incredibly interesting ship design. The Vandal ships, however, I don't like that much. Mostly because I haven't seen too much about them and because they look, how do I say that? Generically bad alien style. Maybe I've fallen off with them once we see them closer in Squadron 42, but so far I mean, they look cool and evil and stuff, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before. Will you do a base building module for the Galaxy? I think it was concepted last year. You mean for my tour, for my video tour? Absolutely, I want to do the base building tour for the Galaxy, but no, not but. Actually, I kind of plan on doing that for next IAE. I'm just a bit worried that we don't have enough information about how base building ships work on the inside. Even these 3D printers we've seen, they don't give me much information on how the galaxy would work. So everything I would do is just completely made up. Probably I will still give it a shot because it's interesting. But to answer the question, yeah, absolutely. I want to do a video for every single galaxy module that is planned. So there's at least 2 more. And then I would also do, like, I said that a million times, I haven't done it yet, but I also plan to do something with modules that I think would be cool, or that my community has suggested that might be cool for the Galaxy. Galaxy overall is still the ship that I will do the most for, because that's kind of my channel's baby. Please show the Kraken from the bridge. I can do that in a second. I don't have an interior for the bridge. I can show you the perspective, what you would see from the bridge, but as Chaotic just said, there is no interior built yet. But if you just want to see the perspective, sure, we can have a look at that. The human ships in Star Citizen are way cooler than the alien ones. I disagree. I think that I prefer the human ships in Star Citizen if I had to choose a ship for me, which I would use in-game. But just like from a design, creative standpoint, the alien ships are just way more complex and also way more unique. There are not that many cool alien ships in other franchises that I have seen and that I've liked as much as, yeah, Gattac specifically. Because they don't use the usual alien. They neither use these evil alien look that the Vendrell used, that other franchises have used, nor do they use the alien Giga style that a lot of franchises try to steal. It's just Gattac is something that I haven't seen before, so I give them a lot of credit for that. But I would still fry human ships too. What is your favorite ship manufacturer? I can't answer that. I like so many of them. For the longest time, when I started, it was always Aegis, because I was mostly interested in fighters. By now, I like Misk a lot, because I think their latest Misk ships are really cool. I like Argo a lot. I think the Argo Raft is one of the ships that I like. Just purely design-wise, a lot of my decisions are based on design, and I think the Argo Raft is... I love the color scheme, I love the detailing. It's just, it looks so industrial, and also so... Misk is a bit too clean, but I still like it for that, and Argo just looks so amazingly utilitarian. I also love Drake. I like IS. I don't like RSI that much. No, RSI is a bit below, even though I like a lot of RSI ships. Oh, and I love Crusader, obviously. Maybe that is my favorite. I can't tell. I have a lot of manufacturers that I like. That doesn't look like we're getting to the Ironclad in just a second. Sorry, I got stuck talking to people. Do you think they will revoke the Dragonfly buy? Absolutely, I think they will. But I don't have any insights. How? Thank you, Chaotic. That's very nice. I'm excited for Alien Week. I'm not too excited because I don't think they will have something cool. I think the Xperia thing is the only new thing we'll see. I would be excited if the Raylan got an update, even just an update video. That would excite me. Is it that you don't like the alien ships, or are there certain styles you like, such as Velocity 7, are you talking to me? Because I didn't say that I don't like the alien ships. I said I like the I like some of the alien designs a lot, and then some not so much, but generally I love the alien ships. But the Talon actually is on that list that I don't like that much. Again, Gattack is what I think is the coolest design-wise. I said that I don't like the Vanduul design-wise. But again, it's all design-wise. I also like the did I miss one? I think Asperia is generally okay, but I just don't like the ships that much. I think all the Banu stuff is very cool, but there are no cool ships so far. The BMM obviously will be cool, but the small Banu one is just... I don't know what to do with the Defender, but the design is pretty cool. I just want bigger ships from them. And Gattack, the Sulan is amazing, and the Raylan will be even more amazing. So, yeah. No, I like alien ships. Alright, let's finally get out of this video and into something productive. I have the Ironclad open, but I said that I just want to answer that one Kraken question. The question was, how's the view from the bridge? And as I said, there is no interior. So I'm just going to show you the perspective, what you would see from the bridge one day. 1 second. I don't know the actual field of view of the... Actually, 1 second, I need to open a window here. Get that properly into place. There we go. I don't know the exact field of view of the Star Citizen camera, so yeah, but this is how the model looks, so there's nothing inside. What you see here is just textures that I used basically for the outside parts, so there's nothing in here to see, except if you wanted to see the view, it is quite obstructed. It's not a very high window, but it is quite wide, so you can have like a real nice view around the whole ship. As a little teaser here, you can really see all decks from the bridge, which is really cool. And then there's a second one. Actually, no, wait. I've never tried that, and it looks like the... There is... you just saw it. There is a second window on the top. And I expected there to be a second deck, but it doesn't look like this was... What is the purpose of this? You can't look to the front. You can look a bit to the sides. I'm not sure if there's actually a second deck or if there's just a... If that is a very high room and there's just a window upstairs to have more light falling in. Maybe the bridge will be one high room. I'm not sure yet. I have to look into that. It's a bit weird. Let me catch up with chat again. Do you think we are due for a concept at Alien Week? Maybe a GetTech Explorer or DC competitor? I don't think so. I don't think they are trying to have less concepts at the moment. And I don't know, in the past, I feel like they wouldn't have such a big concept at Alien Week. That said, I would love to see one concept in general, because that gives me something to do. And a GetTech Explorer Odyssey competitor, oh, I would love that so much. But I don't think they would. I don't think they would do a new GetTech concept before they have the Raylan out, because they did the Sulin to learn how to build the Raylan, because they haven't really figured out all the design elements for that. And so it would be weird to have another concept before they finish the Raylan. That's my opinion on that. But I would love one so much. You're in a 3D program, right? Yes, I will. I'm in a 3D program, and I will be for the rest of this stream. I usually don't stream the game, but just show my work. And yes, it's in Blender. Everything I do is in Blender. Will you do the Arastra? I love the cockpit design of it. Yeah, as I said, I like the Arastra a lot, but there's so many on the list. I'm not sure. I haven't prioritized. I'll do the Ironclad first. That's all I can say for likely the rest of this year. Do you have a human mesh to add in there to see the scale? Ooh, I have one somewhere, but I don't think I can find it right now. This is the height of a human, so this is your FPV height. And I can give you a box that is human sized. I don't have human here right now. How tall do you want your human? I'll go with exactly 1 meter and 80. I think that's an average human. There you go. There's your average human. 170 is the average. Is that so? I didn't know that. I'll shrink him 10 centimeters for you. So here's 50 people. Let's make it 75 people on that deck for reference. But also I'm using a very, very wide lens right now. You can see how everything distorts. This is more of a natural look. If you still have the asset, how many paladins could you fit on that main deck? Oh man, we have to get to the Ironclad in a second, because I promised an Ironclad stream, but I have the asset and I can show you. Actually, this is one of those experiments that could just melt my computer, so let's hope it doesn't. Give me a second. Ooh. Yeah, the Paladin is much bigger than you expect. I'm always surprised how big it actually is. Think I don't think if it's realistic to try to fit 3 on there. If I try to turn out, actually, why not? I think you could fit 3 on there. 2 is the safe answer, but I guess you could cram 1 more. And then the weird thing with these pads here, I don't think... I talked about that with Grim. There's nothing really stopping you from parking things about or across 2 decks. Oops. Oh no, oh no, oh no, please don't die. There's nothing really stopping you from parking 1 across 2 decks. I think there should be stopping you. There should be something stopping you. He doesn't think so. We'll see. So that would be 2 more, I think. And you specifically for this one, you would even have the door in a position that is not completely unrealistic. So I don't know, 5? Let me catch up with chat for a second here. So that's an observation deck. Yeah, but it's an observation deck with a terrible view, so not sure. If Sir G called and asked if you'd come and work full time, would you say what ship would you start working if you could? I thought about that. I think I would decline. I have a nice job. Maybe a cooler job. Maybe not. That is personal decision. And I think I would really ruin my hobby if I did that. But if I would have... if Jared would come here and force me with a gun on my head to work on 1 ship for them, then I would work on the Galaxy just because I have already spent so much time building and thinking about that, and I would just like to see how that turns out, even though it's not the one that would interest me the most if I look at all concepts, but I'm so curious now to see how the Galaxy will turn out. Default field of view is 90 degrees, is that so? Okay, but I never play on the typical, I always play on some wider, so... And also this is these field of view, and I don't know how to, I should know that, but I don't know how to calculate from focal length in millimeters to FOV. So just saying this is a bit, this was probably a bit wider than what you would normally see. Hello there. Yeah, hey. No SCU or vehicle is wild. That's true. the Paladin is huge, that's true too. Can you fit a caterpillar on the smaller pads? Yeah, we tried that. You should be able to get... You actually, if you go back to the last or second last stream, we put 2 Ironclads on here. One on the big pad and then one on the small pad. So that kind of fits. So caterpillar for sure. Again, if they not change anything. Jared said something similar about sacrificing being a Star Citizen backer enjoyer because he is making Star Citizen. Yep, I saw that comment, and I think it would be different. Even he kind of sacrificed Star Citizen as a hobby for that job, which does not completely exclude itself. But my hobby right now is not playing Star Citizen, but building ships for Star Citizen and speculating about ships on Star Citizen. And I just couldn't do that anymore if I were there. I would see everything that is in concept right now, and I could not talk about it. And I don't know, speculating about it for me is more fun than having it in my hands, to be honest. So also, actually, I have part of this. I get the question so often that I have part of it prepared for the next video. In my day job, I'm doing something different. I'm not a 3D artist, but something similarish. And I have to be very, very focused on one thing, and I have to work on something very thoroughly for weeks and weeks and do like... Everything has to be incredibly polished and perfect. And I enjoy that. But on this hobby here, I can just not make everything super, super clean. And I can cut some corners here and there, and I can just build the interior of a galaxy within weeks, which is unrealistic if you do that as a job. And so I enjoy that too, that I am allowed to cut corners here. And if I would work at CIG, all the things that are fun right now on this 3D stuff would get very work-like very fast. So that's another reason. I could do this on a more professional level. Not... I don't have the experience to be a full-time 3D artist, but I have the knowledge about it because I work with people that do that. And I think I could get there, but I don't think it would be fun to me anymore. I like 3D specifically as a... It's almost meditative for me, like it's relaxing, and it wouldn't be if I had to make everything 100% perfect. Do you design your own ships? I do on my channel, yes. I haven't in a while, but there are some older videos. There's a whole series I did called My Next Starship? The Next Starship? Oh yeah, I called it The Next Starship as a nod to The Next Great Starship. There's 5 episodes of me building my own ships. It's very old. It's a ship that I wouldn't do that way anymore. But I still think that they are worth a watch if you haven't seen them. And they are very short. I try to make it very compact. And as my other videos, it's all like shown in universe. So if you haven't seen that, go back to that show. It's 5 episodes that I put a lot of work into, and it's also fun because for that first episode I basically started to learn Blender, so you can really see what I learned in those few years. And then I have one newer episode where I started doing a Crusader ship, but I haven't finished any of these. I'll get back to those every now and then. I'm due for another coffee. Okay, thanks. That's a long name. Thanks, Chaotic. Thanks for being here, and see you around. And first, if you get the chance. Yeah. I have a good balance right now. I think that's the point. I think I would lose that balance if I did the job. How much time do you think you would need to build the retribution? Oh boy. Just the exterior with interior? If I did just the exterior, it would take me, I don't know. If I do it on like the level of detail they have in game right now for the exterior, it would take me years. And if I had to build it with the interior, that would take me a decade. Honestly, it's so big. If I tried to make it on the level I have the Galaxy right now, the retribution would take me a few years. At least. It's completely unrealistic. That ship is so big. And I don't think they will build an interior for that. I think the retribution will be purely a backdrop for the game. It will be just the exterior, and I wouldn't be surprised if you can just see it from the distance being fired or something. I don't think the retribution will be an actual asset for the game that will be comparable to the Bengal or something like that. Hi everyone. Hi Nova. Catching me live for the first time. Yeah, that's I tried this time to have this stream set up a bit earlier, so I had this date set for 1.5 weeks. I won't do this every week from now on, maybe every 2 weeks, I don't know. But I try from now to have the streams up a few days before, so you can see if you can find the time. Do you think the Ironclad will be finished for this year's IAE? That's a good question. I think it can be finished. I don't know if it will be. I was afraid that it would be finished for this Invictus, and apparently it wasn't. And in the last, there was a report, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where the Ironclad was mentioned, and it sounded a lot less far along than we thought. But I still think it would be very realistic to finish it for IAE. I don't know. I don't have more information about that than you, but I personally expect the Ironclad as the big ship for this IAE. And that means I have to finish this beforehand. So I have to jump over in a second and finally do the Ironclad stuff. Just one thing where I just saw Nova. Nova is one of my... I'm not sure if you're on Patreon or on YouTube channel membership. I treat them the same, but all my members get these 3D scenes of the models I built. So they have a Paladin that they can walk around in the web browser and a Galaxy with all the interior modules. And I always said that I can't do extra content for my Patreons, like more videos, because I already have not enough time. However, I am now planning, I'm already starting to plan one big video for IAE, which is in about 5 months or 6 months. And I want to have that ready for IAE and take some more time to finish that, and I want to have it a little bit more polished than all my videos before. So I want to raise the production quality a bit further again and have something that is really... I want to have a few shots in there that are really photorealistic and completely... I don't want to say too much. I want it to be very polished. And so that I have to start soon, and that I thought about giving all the Patreons and channel members a behind the scenes before that video is done, so that you can see the whole building process in more detail than even these streams, because a lot of the video work I don't show usually how I do that. It will be a lot of the work that you saw in the intro cinematic for the Kraken, these 5 shots where the Kraken flies over Area 18. So it's a touch of 3D work, but then also a lot of compositing work. And for that specifically, I did the whole intro in 3 hours, which is ridiculous. That's just not enough, and I like the intro a lot, but I should have spent 3 weeks on that. And yeah, now I want to spend those weeks, month on a cool video that I will give all the Patreons and channel members a behind the scenes for the next few months. So you will get small snippets every now and then to see what I'm doing there. I hope that will be interesting. Because by now I learned that a lot of people are more interested about, well, not more interested, but are very interested about the behind the scenes stuff of how I prepare and build these things. So I thought that might be a cool idea that it's not stuff that I have to do. It's not extra work for me because I would have done some kind of behind the scenes at the end anyways. Just I can put some more time on that this way. Okay, last question before we get to the Ironclad. For carrier ship and Star Citizen, what do you think of external pads versus individual internal hangars versus a singular hangar bay? I don't think I have an opinion. I think the external pads are the most interesting ones for me visually. I like this this whole feeling of stepping out onto the pad and onto the vastness of space if you're outside, or even the outside of Area 18 if you're hovering above that, and then walking to your ship. I always loved that about Port Olisar. And I always feel that hangars are a bit... It's so obvious that they are just what they refer to as spawn closets, where you have a small room that you can spawn stuff in that you don't see. Even though, I mean, they kind of improved that with the what they call the vehicle lift spawning thingy there. Closed hangars are pretty cool too on ships. They are obviously way more safe. I think all 3 have their purpose. I think it's... Right now I'm very interested in these open decks here on the Kraken because we haven't seen that very much. But I like the fly-through of the Idris very much too, and I also like the hangar of the Galaxy. I think they all have their purpose. I think I don't have a favorite. I think I love the variety we have in ships. That makes sense. Right. All right. That was a solid 45 minutes of rambling. Which is fine, I think. But what I wanted to do is continue working on the Ironclad. And so a small summary for everyone who has not seen any of these streams so far. What I did here is I took the exterior holoviewer model. So this is the official 3D model of the Ironclad that is on the website. I just added the materials, and that means that the scale and everything is completely perfect. It's their model. And then I aligned a camera perfectly to this concept image that we have. As you can see, these 2 align perfectly. That is a lot more work than it sounds like, but I did that for the Galaxy 2, and what I can do then, after I have this image in there, I can swap out that image for the interior one. And so now I have a perfect aligned image of the interior, and from there I can then start to build the interior as close as possible. We've already seen in the past that this ship is very tricky with all the different levels, and there's not a lot of reference here and there. So I will be off by, I think we measured something like 0.5 meter when it comes to floor heights or everything. But I think 0.5 meter is quite decent when it comes to a ship of this size. And I mean, some details like these railings are matching to a few centimeters. It's just, I don't know if this hangar is, I'm completely making up numbers now, but I'm not sure if it's 20 meters wide or 20.5 meters wide. So it should be decently accurate. And for some parts, like the hangar, I have some fragments of the original interior too. And what we've done so far, I started from this platform here. What I've done so far is, this will be a bit ugly and flickery. Wait, actually, I'll turn that off because that is too flickery. So we have this way up from the side. Plenty of doors here. And then we get into this side of the hangar, which is housing 2 components here. 2 big, I don't know which ones, I forgot, but 2 big component parts here. In the middle, some kind of lift. Oh no, I'm always clipping through the floor. I'm sorry. And then we have the garage for the 2 mules. This, I think, is where we left off last time. There is this angled window over there overlooking this area. I think there's more components here, but no further doors. And then to the other direction, you have the big hangar. You have a symmetrical exit on the other side. And yeah, this is the hangar with the boxes inside. I can't look at that for too long because these boxes always, it always struggles on stream. If you want to see it with cargo inside or with some ships inside, have a look at the older VODs of the stream. I have all the recent streams up on YouTube. Actually, I'm going to do a summary of all of that because it's just too long to watch for some people. But in the last 2 streams, you can see me putting all kinds of ships in there that people requested. Golems, F7s, all kinds of ships we tried. And we tried specifically on how, if the top door can still close. But yeah, that, and also, yeah, how much cargo is in there with both the assault version and the base version. That's already done in older streams. And yeah, that's where we left off, and this is usually the part where I just start to model and can't talk that much anymore. Let's see what we do today. Usually I don't get really much done on streams because I can't multitask. Also, we have these long corridors here. This one I just showed here. And there's so many throughout the ship, so many everywhere, that I decided with the Kraken that I did, which also has this wider tunnel, right? The one that you saw in the video. I decided I have to do some modular system with geometry nodes in Blender to make a system that helps me build all these corridor for every different angle. So basically, geometry nodes, if you don't know what that is, it's a tool in Blender that uses non-destructive ways of, you basically set rules, and from those rules it builds something. So the idea is that I've used that, actually. I can show that here. I've used something like that for, this is the part that I finished already. So I just built the floor here, and then I have a system where I place edges where I want to have doors, and then I assign them to a group, and then he will place a door at that location, perfectly aligned and all of that stuff, and deletes that line that I just built. So a modular system that allows me to easily place doors everywhere, and is also instanced. So I basically have one door in my scene somewhere, and then he takes that door 50 times and places them throughout the ship. That is a lot. It's incredibly memory efficient. So if I just copied door after door after door, it would the model would get massive. So I would have to do something like that anyway. But that is very complex. I'll have to do that off stream, and then I'll explain it to you maybe next time how I did that. But I'm basically looking at I want to have something like this where I just build these gray lines for the corridors, and then I need a system that places all the small details that you saw in the Kraken interior with the these floor panels on the bottom, and these cables running on the top, and these steel beams on the sides, and whatever they had on the walls. There's always some kind of tubes and stuff. So yeah, I need some modular system because the ship is so big. I think the middle door is the access to the lower turret. That actually makes a lot of sense. I have never thought about that. But it's pretty much above it, you're right. Good point. Do you have a number off the top of your head on how many 32 SCU containers can fit in an Ironclad? Yeah. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times 4, so 24, 48. And that comes to 1536 SCU, which is, yeah, the official number. And this is also the layout, so you will have a kind of a meter, a little more than a meter between the containers if you follow the grid. Would love to hear another stream how you do instance geometry for those doors. I mean, how I did that for doors, I can show you now because that's easy. Can you do the same for other things like ladders, walls, and floor decking? Yeah, that's the idea. That's what I want to do with the specifically with the I don't want to say the corridors, because they are so repetitive. Like for the rooms, I'll have to do something manually, but for all these tunnels and corridors, I'll do something like this, because they are very repetitive. I get into details next time when I finish that, but just I can show you how I did the doors, for example. So this is the node setup that places them, just to explain that, and it basically takes an input, which is just this. That's my floor that I built. And it takes a second input, which is one object, and that is one single door that I placed somewhere else. And then on my what I built here, I selected these extruded polygons here as a vertex selection, and so they are stored in this selection here. And I take that selection to delete these polygons, because I don't want them there. They are where the door are supposed to be. And then I basically place these doors on, I place particles on those points that I built, and then I place my objects on there, my doors, and then I use the normal of that polygon, so the direction it's facing, to make my doors face the right direction. I don't think it visible right now. Yeah, because I have no doors facing. If I had a door, let's say I have a door here. That would face the right direction too, because I get the normal of those polygons and see where that's why I have to place this annoying polygon in the way here. I have not find a more intelligent way. There might be a more efficient way than placing and deleting these polygons here, but if I just select the vertices on the floor where I want to put the door, they don't have a direction facing where I want the door to be facing. So that's my current fix for getting them to face anywhere. And yeah, so that whole system is, I think it was only introduced like 2 or 3 versions ago in Blender. It's basically, if you're into 3D stuff, how you would do everything in Houdini. So it's a Houdini light. And it's very, very powerful, but it's also very complicated. And I can do the same for ladders and for everything, basically, if I can find some realistic rule for that. So right now, this is not really based on rules, but on me specifically selecting vertices where I want the doors, but I haven't figured it out completely, but I want to basically always in the middle place these floor plates that Drake has on their floors, so we'll see. Would the base Guardian fit inside with landing gear down? We done that? I think we put the Guardian in there in the last stream. I mean, let me try real quick. I'm afraid I don't have the Guardian here right now. No, so I had that somewhere, but I can't find the Guardian right now, sorry. If you give me the measurements. The Guardian is 16 by 25 by 9 meters. And I had the volume here. That is basically the official volume for the hangar. I could just look it up, but I'm just going to measure my own object here. So that is 7.5 meters. So the Guardian would have a height problem, absolutely, even without landing gear. It's 40 meters long. That should not be a problem, and it's 21 meters. That's okay. So short answer, I think the Guardian will not fit if you want to close the ceiling. That is a problem that we found with a lot of ships, that the hangar is quite low. It's not a hangar, it's a cargo bay, and so that you will be mostly limited by that. I don't know how big it is when it's folding its wings down, but still, I'll try to get the model between streams for the next time, but there are a lot of ships that won't fit because they are too high, so wouldn't surprise me either. Right, where do we continue now? We did that nice... let me get the different, not the... base variant. So last time we did the angled room above there. Actually, let's try to figure out the front. I think that would be interesting. And that would also help me continue this. So for the front, this is one of those places where I don't really have a good measurement for the height. What would help me are things that align with the outside. So this is why I started here. I have a perfect orientation. This thing here is part of the holoviewer model that I have aligned, so it's pretty easy to place a floor there and be sure that it's on the right height. I don't have anything like that here. There's this weird stairs. I don't know what height they're on. I could actually be lucky, and this floor here could be in the model, the floor of this cockpit, and then I would need, I would know the exact height of the front here. And it doesn't seem like there are any stairs in here, just here and there. Let's check if that is the case. Oh yeah, that looks good. Take out all the glass for a second. Oh yes, perfect. Sometimes they leave fragments of the geometry in there. So for example, this here, you could mistake that for the wall of the interior, but it really is part of the exterior. Part of this whole thing here. However, this here is pretty much the floor that I'm looking for. Maybe it needs to be like a few centimeters above, because this is basically the floor before you put the floor material on top, the whatever metal plates on top. But this is a pretty good height for me to build that whole level there. So let's place a new object there. Place it perfectly on that thing. And so now this plane here is perfectly on the height of their model. And that means in this view, if I hide this, that means in this view I can now slide this polygon on every axis but the z-axis. And because my camera is perfectly aligned, I can then perfectly align these rooms. And we can see in a second how good that works. Because in a second we will get to this door here. But this only works as long as I don't change elevation here. Oh, and as you can see, there's something weird here. Or not necessarily weird, but it looks like this room is a bit... It's not straight. The wall is not straight. And in these circumstances, I'm not sure if I should just make this room a bit of an angle, or if they just blocked it for blocking purposes, but I don't think I don't think it's realistic to have this weird angle on that floor, but I mean, I have to follow the material, right? So I'll just do it like this. But then there's also this here, so there is clearly something weird with the model. Still, I'm trying to follow it as close as possible. That's usually my rule of thumb. Even whatever this is, I'm going to include that. Nova, what did you do? You can't be on both. Do you want to swap from Patreon to channel membership? You can't have both. That's not fair. I mean, it's not fair for me to... It's not fair for you to paying for the same thing twice. I mean, I can put 2 of your nameplates in there for sure. But I just hope that you just want to swap from Patreon to YouTube. Either way, thank you so much for your support. You're one of the long-time tier 3 supporters, obviously, which I really appreciate. Do you have plans to do the Odyssey? I said that I would love to, but there are more ships that I have to... that are on my list before the Odyssey. But the Odyssey is quite high up my personal interest list. I love your Kraken video. Thank you very much. That I love to hear that because it was kind of a new format for me. I never did videos with someone else because I can't script them as well as my tour videos. I mean, they are not... scripting is the wrong word, but obviously I plan these tour videos very, very thoroughly, and I can't do that with the second person. However, I thought that with Grim it could kind of work, and I think it worked, so I really enjoy the feedback that apparently you liked having Grim on there. And it's the same on his side. People apparently really liked it. Those stairs definitely go to the walkways. Yeah, they do, right. Oh boy, I really appreciate that, but I guess I have to do something special for you then. I mean, you're here now. Do you, if you want to stay on both, I can't stop you, even though you really don't have to. But if you want to, do you want 2 Nova statues? Or do you want yours customized in any way? Do you want any other material in there? Anything that I can do for you to make it worth your while? Different metal for the outside, different material in the inside. At this point, I'm all yours. Where can we get the file to the ship's hologram for Blender? Could you share it? HoloModel is on CRG's website. I cannot tell you how to download them. There are guides on Reddit, and it has changed a few weeks ago. Actually, I can show you. I think Grim did too. So I'm just going to tell you right now, okay? And I'm not going to show you. So you go to the site where you have your holoviewer model that you want. I'll take the Ironclad. So you go to the official Ironclad CIG page. And as you can see, they have just recently updated the site. So you now have to scroll a bit down to the holoviewer model. Don't do that just now, and if you already did, never mind. Open your... Sorry, this is on Firefox. It's pretty much the same on Chrome, but I currently don't know. You'll have to do some digging, but it's basically the same. You go to the settings panel, and you go to tools, and you go to web developer tools. And then you have something on the bottom of your window. And there you go to network monitor. There's a tab called network monitor. And then you basically refresh the page, and that will go crazy. And then you scroll down again to the holoviewer model. And when it loads in the holoviewer model, somewhere in that list, it's a bit hard to find. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. Somewhere in that console you can find a 3D model, and it's a CTM file. So it will usually be called it usually has some weird name. Sometimes it has the ship in there, and then it ends with CTM. And from that list, you can just right-click the URL of that file, which is a link to the Robert Space Industries page, and you put that in the top bar, and it will download that file for you. It's a bit complicated, but in there you can find it, and this TTM file you have to then convert to FBX. There's online tools for that. That's super easy. You just drag and drop it into a converter, and you get your FBX file, and then you can drop it into Blender. I have only done it once. The new method, if I figure it out, I can show it better next time. But it always takes a bit of searching. That's part of the fun. You don't want anything special? That's crazy. I'll make something up. I'll figure ways to... I'll find a way to make it nice. Because that's crazy numbers there. That's way more support than is necessary. So thank you very, very much. And I'll try to find a way to make that... show that. Actually hope it will be released at IAE 2. I really can't wait for this ship. At the same time, again, it's really unrealistic for me to finish this whole thing until then at the level I'm aiming for. So I'm really also I'm struggling to find a good place. If I finish this interior here and do a nice tour like for the Galaxy at the start of IAE, so like let's say a week before it comes out, I think that's already too late. There's no much fun in you can wait that one more week. So actually the sooner I finish this, the better. But it's also not realistic for me to finish this in the next 1 or 2 months. And then even if I finish it in August, I don't know. I usually like to put my videos out for special occasions, and there are just not any. And it could also be at CitizenCon that we get the... Maybe I should just aim to have this video out and the Ironclad out for CitizenCon. And then the ship will more likely come out at IE, I would say. Maybe that makes sense. And for everyone who hasn't seen the old streams, now I'm at the I have the problem that I'm in the center of the ship. But the ship is not completely perfectly mirrored. It pretty much is, but it's not. I'm not sure if my model is off or their model. I know that their model is a bit off. So I should mirror this, but it will be a bit inaccurate, unfortunately. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So this is perfectly mirrored around their ramp. So the ramp that is in their model, which is supposed to be in the middle. Yeah, but then this doesn't line up. So it's not much. It's, I don't know, half a meter, maybe less. But still, it does not completely match. Which really bugs me. I mean, it makes sense that this drag ship is not perfectly mirrored, but it's so little that it feels unintentional, and I'm not sure if I'm off, if they are off. It's annoying. So what I'm going to do here is what I did before. I'm not going to I'm going to go by visual and assume it's not perfectly mirrored. Because that's, I think, the safer way for me to do it. Join these together. And this room here is one of the most interesting ones, I think at least. This is the additional cargo hold for, well, what was their wording again? It was not completely legal or not, or specially protected, or there was something, I don't know what their wording was, but basically, since it's pretty much cages, it's at the same time safer to like have it locked for intruders, but at the same time it kind of looks like you could transport living cargo in there. Could be animals, could be people, we don't know. But it looks suspicious at best. So, highly interesting. Not sure what the absolute purpose is. The only thing I can say is I don't know how to access this room just yet. We can, in a second, we can have a look at something that might give us a hint. But right now, I just know that you would have to take the ladder, so maybe it's not livestock that you transport in there, but we'll see. Hey, BG. Oh, I finally added new icons for all of you. I hated these old YouTube membership icons. Right, they called it a brig. That was part of their wording. Oh, and oh yeah, I forgot that. I'm stupid. There is an elevator here. At least that's what I think it is. This looks like a wide cargo elevator, I think. So maybe that's the way up. And actually, that could fit maybe a space cow. I forgot about that. Unfortunately, we don't have a good look at the lower floor there, so I'm not entirely sure. Let's just check two things before we continue with this. Did they say brig additional storage with extra security? Or did they... I think there was something more they said in the video. I mean, we can have a look at it in a second. I have it here anyways. I'm pretty sure it's for humans and cargo and also animals. It's for whatever you want to use it for, really. But it is really the first caged cargo space we've seen, so it's definitely interesting. So now we have these things here that should end up where the top walkways are, the catwalks. And I have placed models for them. And oh my god, we are only off by like centimeters. So that's a really, really good sign. Nice. Good. That makes me happy. So we now have a good layout for the interior here. I can actually already add this to this. Oops, wrong way. And then our interactive cool system already places the doors here. Oh, you sent me the brochure. Thank you very much. Let's have a look if that gives us any info about it. Additional storage, yeah. No, I think there was more information in the video. So actually, this is what we're going to do now, because at this point I need more information anyways. So let's jump into the... I say jump into the Star Citizen, inside Star Citizen, but it's really just my put together parts of that video, really. Does it work? Yep, there we go. Oh, unfortunately I have removed the audio. But I have cut out all parts of the interior that we can see. I don't know where it was. I think it was here. There. So there's that room. Oh, this is from the other side we were looking at. Just... Oh, actually, I'm not sure if that works if I do full screen, so... Oh, sorry. I try to look at it in full screen, force of habit. But that pretty much destroyed the view for you, I believe. Sorry. Yes, we had. Sorry, I'm not going to do a full react on that episode. I'm just going to, because I'm just using the software because I can go through frame by frame. And that's usually how I get my details. So even though this is a bit ugly now and I can't even do full screen for you, which I'm super sorry, this helps a bit more because I can zoom in and look at stuff better. So this is the part that we just looked at from the other side, which now we know that on this side there's a shield generator. That's interesting for me. Actually, I'm jumping back into Blender. And I'm going to place a shield generator there so I don't forget. Shield generator. Give it some nice color as they have. And so we can remember that this is a shield generator. Actually, I'm going to make a group for all the components, because that will be important in the future. Okay, that's just some cleanup, sorry. You also use, oh yeah, you should use Resolve. So for everyone who doesn't know what I'm doing here, DaVinci Resolve is the editing software I use to cut and edit my videos. It is the most professional tool on the market you can get your hands on. There's basically only 3 editing tools in the professional world. One is Adobe Premiere, and that is not that professional, to be honest. Like all Adobe products, they are more aimed at professional consumers, but not at professionals. And it sucks, to be honest. And then there's Avid, which is the most professional editing software, but it's also very old, and I can't recommend it to anyone. It's really, really hard to use, and there's no advantages you would have. And so the only other option is Resolve, which is both used completely professional and also it's free for users at home. So it's the perfect piece of software you can get because you have, it's rather easy to use, I would say, and you have everything you need in there. There's some super slight limitations, but honestly, I wouldn't even think about it. It's if I would get a free Adobe license for the rest of my life, I would still prefer the free Resolve version. It's just a better option. Actually, I have a free Adobe version, but I'm not using it. Oh, that's annoying. There's a shield generator on the other side too. That means we have no ramp, no lift there. It's good to know, but it's also annoying. Added that to our model. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Good point, Nova. Also, it has no annoying subscription model. So even if you wanted to have the full version, and really the full version is just some better hardware encoding, some filters that you can't use in the free version, and I think there's a node limit. Yeah, but it's mainly the filters and the AI upscalers and stuff like that that you don't get in the free version. But even if you at some point wanted to upgrade, it's not a subscription model, which is something that I hate too. But yeah, some editing real talk here on the side. Thank you, John. That's very nice. Brett, you never have to apologize for being late. What do you mean shield generator? Did I forget a D or did they forget a D? Oh, I didn't even notice. Thank you. Concept. If you could propose a ship concept to be built by CG, which role and manufacturer would you choose? If I could choose a ship concept, I can't give you a specific answer. There are a few fragments of ideas that I have, because I wanted to build them, but I have not. There's not one ship in my head right now that I could give you. I'm really looking forward to some big Crusader, like warship, like some kind of frigate or something. Not really sure if that makes sense lore-wise, but I think visually it would be really, really special to have something like that. And that would also be something that I would really like to either build myself or see built, because we have only really used their assets for industrial ships of that size, like the C2. I would love to see something more military. Other than that, if I could propose a ship concept, I think realistically, I would like some more variations for salvage and mining too. They just basically the golem was something that I always wanted. I wanted different options for salvage and mining, and I always wanted a small mining competitor from Argo, because the mole obviously is way too big, and I would love smaller Argo ships because I like their design so much. But now with the golem, we basically have something in that size, so it's not that important anymore. But maybe a small Argo salvager. Okay, but we are getting a small RSI salvager, so maybe that's not that important anymore too. But I would like a small Argo industrial ship. And then also that's one of the designs I started in one of my older videos. I would like to see a small fighter from Crusader that is I don't know, a one-seater, short range, that is used to patrol the Cloud City. So basically, the Star Citizen equivalent of the Bespin Cloud Car. And also because the small fighters from Crusader, well, I think it's... Are the Ares... Is that a small or medium? I'm not sure, but... Small fighter from Crusader would be cool. Specifically for the purpose of flying around Crusader and giving some sense of safety to that. Especially because Orison gets attacked so often. But that I have already started to make a concept for. There's a video in that series I talked about earlier, and that making my own. Well, I don't know the name. There's a playlist on my channel with building ships, and there's one Crusader thumbnail that you'll find where I built a small Crusader ship for that purpose. That's all from the top of my head. Simon Feldman, let's dive into the Ironclad in 3D. Where can I also download the 3D model of the original Drake Ironclad? You can download all of them from the official website. I tried to explain it earlier, but I can't show it on stream. You have to go to the website, the official one, to the... it has just been changed, the website. It has been... the design has changed. So you have now you have to scroll down a bit to get to the holoviewer model. And when you have the holoviewer model open, no, actually before you have the... If you find the holoviewer model, then you reload your page. You go into the settings of your web browser. You go into the developer tools, the web developer tools, and then you have to check the network tab. Then you scroll down to the holoviewer model. It will load in the 3D model. And then in all the traffic there, you have to find the CTM model. And that CTM model has a URL. That URL you can put in the top of your browser, and then it will download the CTM file. And then you can convert that to a FBX or something, and then work from there. It has just recently been changed. There was, back in the days, there was a guide on Reddit. Maybe there is one for the new method, but basically it's just looking through the logs and find the CTM file. Hi, John. Thank you for being here. Can't wait to see the finished Ironclad. I'm sorry, but you'll have to wait a little longer. A big hospital ship. Oh, actually, I just saw the interior image of the Apollo, and that reminded me so much of the interior of the Galaxy that I built. Pretty much the same assets they are using there, so now I'm really hyped for the Galaxy module. I don't really need it for myself gameplay-wise, but I'm always interested when I have already built something to see how they make the final thing and how they are different. Goat is working on the iron. Thank you. Crusader tram with weapons. Yeah, okay, that's long requested. The ship I would love to, the Odyssey. The Odyssey, honestly, is really interesting for me because I don't really get it yet. I have not looked at it as detailed as I have looked on the Galaxy, so I don't really have an opinion on if I like it. I just know that it's very interesting from the layout, and I would like to build the interior one day. And then afterwards I will decide. Basically, same with the Galaxy. It was super interesting for me. Then I started looking at it, and now I have to say it's not the most interesting ships out there. The design is cool, the interior is cool, but it's also very annoying in some parts. But it got interesting to me while working on it, so I will make an opinion on the Odyssey once I've spent 100 hours building the interior. Oh, sorry, the Ares is it's a heavy fighter, but it's the size of what you normally would expect a small or medium fighter to be. So sure, yeah, of course it's heavy from the weapon standpoint, but I was more thinking size-wise. I would love a ship with 100 drones which are flying around and laser scan the environment in the jungle. Oh boy, that looks like something that will melt the servers again. I'm interested how they will tackle drones, because we haven't really seen much. Okay, sorry guys, now we've just looking at my editing software for 20 minutes. We were just looking at the front here, and it looks like the room is bigger than I thought. What do you think is this block here? Is that still part of... Or actually, is that the cell? Oh yeah, Actually, that is the full size of the room, but they have blocked parts off. What's happening there? Ah, okay, so they just put a ceiling over the room. That's still in there. So it's the full, okay, it's a full room, but these parts have ceilings for some reason. Any more information we can get from this? We have 3 windows there. That's information that is important for me. And this is probably our best look at the interior. Actually, they have a person in there, so we don't have to speculate anymore what its purpose is. Okay, but that gives us all the information we need about this room, really. So let me just eyeball this window. Oh, I don't have to eyeball it. I can see it here. That's good. Okay, let's finish that then. And again, you can see that it's right now this is, oh no, it's not perfectly mirrored anymore. I did this by eye to match the model, but still it's not completely centered, which is weird, but I'm going to go with their not perfectly centered approach because I want to be accurate to the model and not to what I think it should be. And it looks like these windows perfectly align with, yeah, these windows perfectly align with those separator walls. So let's get those in at least as placeholders. Actually, I'm just going to place random placeholder objects because they are completely out of pipes and not solid walls, so I have to get some different solution for that later. I don't want that in my mesh. Again, with the aligned camera, it should be pretty accurate as long as we have 90-degree angles. Looks rather symmetrical. Good enough. And so we know now that these windows yeah, that's my issue. It's absolutely not symmetrical. What do I do now? Do I make the windows the same size, or do I... Actually, I mean, you know that I have to be thorough with these details, but if we look at their room, it looks very symmetrical at first, right? So these two gates look almost the same width. But then if you look at the windows, this one has a lot of space between the wall here and the window, whereas here there's a lot less. And then also this here sticks out a little more from the wall, but here it is in the wall, so their model isn't accurate either. So also here you can see that here the window goes pretty much to the side of the room, and here you have, I don't know how much that is, 30 centimeters. I mean, we're all in centimeters here, but it's not their model is just a kit, not a kit badge. It's just a block out, really. It's very, very good block out, but it's just not accurate. Oh, you can also see that these two red things, there's almost double the space here that there's on this side. So anything I can do here that is related to symmetry, there will be a bit of error. So I'm just going to place it somewhere and call it a day. No. At least it has the right shape to it. And the size should be pretty good too. So just a placeholder for now, but it's at the right place, and that's good. The windows aren't the same size in the concept art. No, well, the middle one is obviously bigger, but are you talking about the artwork? Can you see that properly in the artwork? Let me just have a quick look at the images. I think you're referring to this one? Yeah, the middle one is bigger. Well, I mean, but I would have said that these two are the same size. But again, you can actually pretty well see that on this side there's half the space you have on this side. So I don't know. It looks symmetrical at first, but it really isn't. Good to know. So I don't think it will matter for what I do here. Yeah, for the I mean the whole survival thing for the Odyssey, I'm not excited about that because it just isn't a thing yet. But I'm with you absolutely for the kind of rooms it has and the interior design of Misk, especially since the Star Lancer. Oh, it's so good. They have such a good design library for Misk ships now. Maybe one of the best they have. Go work at CRG. We talked about that earlier. I don't think I want to. But thank you, I guess. Hey Voodoo, nice to have people around. But I have to warn you, my streams are a lot of looking at user interfaces, sometimes for minutes on the same image, looking up details. My main intention is that these streams get people an idea why I can only do a video every, I don't know, few months. Again, super rough block out here for everything, really. This, for this I have to build completely new assets. I don't have any of these cage doors, cage walls, really. Perfect. I'm a tech artist with Houdini, so I stare at a lot of it. If you're a tech artist with Houdini, then this will disappoint you. Because I'm not a tech artist in Houdini. I have a lot of respect for that. But I'm in a completely different kind of visual software. If you know Houdini, then you probably know Nuke. That's my favorite tool that I use most, actually. But for this stuff, I decided to go with Blender because it's faster and easier. And I'm just starting to play around with geometry nodes, but it's basically, I explained it earlier to people, it's basically Houdini light, but really light. I have played with Houdini in the past too, but because that is not my main job, it never made sense for me to put the amount of effort in. But at this point, I kind of have to learn it soon anyways. So that's our block out for the cells area. That's pretty cool. And it's also pretty cool that it aligns with our catwalk. Where's our catwalk? Oh, it's part of that mesh. Annoying. So we have the catwalk placed already without the details, obviously, and that pretty much aligns with our... What does it? Oh yeah, it aligns pretty well with our... so this is not where the stairs are. The stairs are floating above the floor, so this is really the height of front. This is the height of the back. They align, so I put it at the right height. And then we have the two turrets here, or the turret and the... well, the tractor beam. And we learned that we have two shield generators here, which is annoying because I thought there was a lift here. And I think that's a pretty good block out for the front that I can then detail later. Let's have one more look at the video and see if there's any details that I may have missed. Oh. I don't see any kind of lift here. It is really odd, don't you think so? It's because, I mean, if it is a cargo room, even if it's special security cargo, it means that we would always have to either use a tractor beam to get our cargo from the bottom here and put it onto the catwalk, and then someone has to walk it through the door, or you have to go all the way back here, and there's a ladder again. And if you wanted to use stairs, I haven't even really figured out where the stairs are. So getting cargo in there is really, really tricky. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's why it's the secure cargo locker, but oh, they would have liked to have a small cargo elevator here. If I missed one, please let me know. I hope I did. I mean, yeah, good point. I see that they want to have it hard to get to, but it also means that you can't have anything in there that won't fit through one of these doors. So basically, even one SCU crates, I don't think you can get up here. So it's only these small boxes. And then, well, also, I mean, if they want to use it for humans, for headhunting or something, you can't use these pods, these bounty hunting pods they showed off. They won't probably fit through the doors. And also, if you have to get people in there, let's say they're unconscious or something, getting those people all the way here, that's annoying. I would have preferred if they had some kind of lift that you just can't. At that point, they should really figure out their what is it called? The system for giving access to people for different objects or doors or lifts or something, so that you can have specific doors or lifts that can only be accessed by members of the crew and not by intruders. I think that would make more sense to have it be completely inaccessible for big items or people that you have to carry in. The boxes in the room are not on a grid, so maybe not intended for cargo. Well, obviously not big cargo. But it is used, it is supposed to be used for illegal stuff, so... Okay, sure, I mean, it's perfect for these maze boxes we have at the events. Jump Town. But nowadays you have also these big crates with illegal, interesting cargo, so I don't know, it's weird to me to exclude that. And also, you don't know that there is no grid in there. I don't think they mentioned that. Could be more grids in there. Not like... honestly, I don't think it. I don't think there is another grid in there. But it's not completely confirmed or unconfirmed that what happens in these rooms. Honestly, I think this room right now is just what you see here, and they will make up what it really is later. I mean, yeah, let's think about Jump Town. Let's just imagine you would have to get all these boxes up here. You can't use a ladder with a box, so you'd have to throw it on here and then go up and then pick it up again. Oh, it's super annoying. I think it needs some kind of... Actually, maybe it needs... No, actually, that doesn't... It would be cool to have like a hidden secret elevator that is hidden behind a door panel or something. That only the owners of the ship know about. But obviously these things, they work perfectly in movies, in the Millennium Falcon, but they absolutely don't work in Star Citizen because every single ship has to be the same layout. They can't have secret elevators on different positions in every single individual Ironclad. So that is just something that in reality I would make a secret elevator in there that the base Ironclad doesn't have, but mine has a secret elevator, but that doesn't work in this game, unfortunately. Probably a lift between the two lockups in front of the window here. I mean, there is empty space and there's no... It could have been used. We're talking about this area. There's nothing indicating that, but you're kind of right that... Actually, it looks like the middle is... It looks like there's kind of a recess in the floor here. But it could also be just from these spots here. But in between those, I mean, possible, but there was this first-person view. Where is it? No, just looks like it's just paneling. If it is here, that lift would go down right onto the ramp, which is either angled like this or I thought I had it animated at some point. So it's either angled up or angled down. So you would never properly be able to have a lift here. I mean, it would have to hang in the air. I don't know. I don't see it there, unfortunately. I would think that if there was a lift, it had to be on the sides here. I think this would have been the perfect place for it. I have one more look into this model if there's something giving away information, but I mean, there has to be something below, right? There has to be something. There's nothing in this image here, but it looks like there's a lot of wasted space here if there was nothing below these. A lot of wasted space. Or actually, let's see if there's actually space for a second floor. Okay, so this is possible height-wise. Yeah, there could easily be a second level below. Is there anything indicating that? This is the ramp. Looks like there's nothing next to it here. No, it looks like... Well, actually, on this side there is something here. Some decoration. On this side, I don't know, there isn't. There could be a door here, technically. This video is a bit annoying because from shot to shot they always take out elements, put new ones in. You never have a good full view of everything. No, really doesn't look like there's anything below here in the front. So, looks like you'd have to... Oh, there's also only one ladder. Is that really... I mean, the handrail is missing here. Because they clearly also just mirror their stuff. The handrail is missing here, but there is no ladder on that side. That's also very interesting. It's very, very weird. I would expect another ladder here. Or maybe the rooms on either side between the steps up to the gantry access and the lockup. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to open without access to be a secure cargo. I think so too. I bet CH just went with a good, cool sounding idea of hard to get to figure out access and everything else out later. Yeah, maybe. But then again, this concept looks like it has been, especially the model that we've seen in the video, it's a lot more thoroughly built out than other concepts were at that stage. So I think they had some kind of idea there. I just don't know what it was yet. Maybe the idea was to just walk around the whole way with your boxes to make it hard to get to. We'll see. But for now, I think we have a really good reconstruction of the front, scale-wise. Detail-wise, it's obviously not there yet. But we have a good floor layout, and that needs some details now. Honestly, I have to say our progress, and by our progress, I mean my progress, is pretty terrible because, yeah, as I said, I can't really talk and do this at the same time. But at this pace, I think in 1, 2, 3 more episodes, we can hopefully finish the ground layout of everything. And then before I actually continue that, for next week, I would like to build this system that I talked to you in the beginning about, adding these slightly more detailed alleyways, kind of automatically, so that we don't have to do everything by hand. I also want to do that because the tunnel that I built for the Kraken in the video I showed in the beginning, that gave me the idea that I have to do that a bit more automatically. And with that, I would also like to share that part of the Kraken that I built with you as another of my 3D scenes that I always give the supporters. Because I think even if it's just that one long corridor with maybe the placeholder for the pads outside, that would... I think some Kraken owners would flip out if they had just this part of the Kraken, so I would really like to give out that part that I have finished and just make it a bit cleaner. And then maybe I'll add more rooms to it later, but just because I have already done it, I'm going to clean it up now, use it for the Ironclad, and give that part of the Kraken that I have out to you, and then add to it later. And I guess by now I kinda have to leave. I think we're at the end of the stream. Slowly. I'm going to read up. Oh yeah, I love floor plans too. I love these Star Wars technical drawings back in the days as a kid. I always loved these technical books more than the actual, not movies, but I loved these technical books where they had the insides of the ships with all the cutaway drawings and stuff. And now see what has become of me. Really cool tunnel. Thank you. It's a really simple tunnel. And I also used some... the tunnel that I used there, I used some of the Kraken assets that I can't share when I want to give out that scene. So I would have to rebuild it anyways for this. So parts of it are mine, and then I'm going to add the rest, and then... that will take another 1 or 2 months before you see that, but just as a heads up. Stop talking to us, then I would be fine with you just doing some work and streaming it so we can watch what you do. Yeah, but that feels weird. And also, I mean, honestly, you guys bring up a lot of stuff in these that I miss. Especially in the Galaxy videos that I did, it was obvious that I missed some stuff that then people pointed out after I released the videos. And with this one, there have already been so many things that I wouldn't have noticed that you noticed, and so when I do the full video for the Ironclad at some point, it will be much better because of all this wasted time on the streams that I didn't use modeling. So I appreciate your input as well, and I also obviously have fun talking about it. And then, yeah, I have to do some modeling in between, but just sitting here for 3 hours and not talking at all, this, I don't know, just feels weird. And we got something done today. I think it's a decent balance. Oh, I never noticed that engineering bay above the main viewing area. Never noticed that engineering bay above the main viewing. What is the main viewing area? I'm not sure what area you're talking about right now. I wonder what's in the very end of the lower deck of the Ironclad. There are 2 mules, and what comes after them? It's a big space behind, but I can't find any information. I think I can answer that for you. There's the engineering part behind. There's a very, very big... is it the engine room or the... No, it's the reactor room, I think. Actually, before I end the stream, let's have a quick look at what comes next week when we continue. Because that part was also very detailed somewhere in that video. So this is the room in the very back. I think that's the reactor. Oh yeah, there you can see it. So this angled wall here, this is looking down onto the 2 mules. And this door goes to the catwalk that we just looked at. So we are 1 floor above this hangar floor. And then you have some components here. And then you have this big room that goes over 2 floors. So I don't think there's anything in between here. But this floor then just goes down here for your engineering room. I'm not even sure if you can walk down there or if it's just decoration. But there's obviously all this engineering stuff there. Your components. I would expect that there's a lift or ladder down here, like in the Polaris. But yeah, that's what's in the back of the ship. There's no more rooms on the floor, I believe, behind that. Oh, but also I said earlier, I don't know where the stairs are. They are here. Looks like. So they come down. Before I jump back into the model, let's see if we get a better view at this. So this is inside that room. This is the crew quarters already, but there was another good look at it somewhere. Oh, this one. This is what I was looking for. Oh, it's so confusing. No, that doesn't help me. Oh no, there's another view. There's another good view. This one. No. So it looks like the stairs are coming down here. No, wait. I would have said that they are coming out here, so opposed to those mules. Oh, but it looks like the stairs are up here, so they are from here. Okay, you know what? I have to do some more. I have to spend some more hours looking at those blueprints before I can give you accurate information. But the back here is just confusing, and it's a real labyrinth, which I love. That's why I was interested in the ship in the first place. But it looks like getting the rest out there in the back that will be tricky. We'll figure that out next time. Where exactly that... No, actually, okay. Here you can see what I was just talking about. This is the stairs that I thought was... No, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It looks like there are two stairs on top of each other. So there's one from the bottom to the first floor and then another one from the first to the second. I could be wrong, maybe there is none here, but there has to be stairs somewhere. I'll go through it again and again and again, and then we'll have more information in the future. But at least I could answer the question about the lower back there. Okay, I didn't really plan on doing ASMR content, but here we are. ASMR for the eyes, but only for tech people that like to look at interfaces. The bridge is what I call the main viewing area. Ah, okay. So going back to your earlier comment. I never noticed the engineering bay above. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, okay, now, okay. Yeah, that whole part we have to get to later. I have not. I will still find stuff in there. I haven't really looked that much at the back because it's such a big pile of spaghetti. We got the front half done now, and we'll get to the rest later. Big. I thought there's like a garage for my vehicles. There's a garage for 2 mules here. Oh, in the back. Sorry, yeah, no more vehicles in the back. Looking forward to the next info we will get at some point in the future. I hope you don't have to redo everything. No, I honestly think the next piece of information we'll get about the deck Ironclad is when it will be released. It already is so detailed the information we have. I don't expect any big redesigns. I think it will just come out at IE. But I have an idea now. I thought there's just a garage or worse, wasted space closet. Good. It's very busy. Is it 6 decks tall? No, I don't think it's 6. I mean, I wouldn't call this a deck, even though it's really 1 deck lower. But I would say this is the first deck. And then we have 1... It's hard to count. I mean, really, I think it's really just 2 decks. But they change elevation so often, so little that you could count it as 5 decks, you could count it as 3. It's hard to say. Once I have cleaned up this pile of spaghetti, I can give you more detailed information, but I think it's somewhere between 2 and 3, depending on how you count, and it could be 5 if you count half positions between floors as a deck too. And if you call this a deck, I don't know, then it's another one, but there's nothing below really. Spaghetti ship. Alright, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. Again, next time I want to get the detailing for the corridors, so that they are more automatically placed wherever I need. Yeah, a level of detail compared to what I did for the Kraken. Thank you for your feedback on the Kraken video. Looks like People love that, and so I'm going to do some more stuff with Grim in the future. What did I say? I said that there's going to be that special secret behind the scenes series that I want to do for the Patreons and channel members for the next for the IAE video that I'm going to start producing now to finish it for IAE, because I want to do something special that's going to be interesting, but I'm going to give you more information once I actually start giving out the first video of that. Yeah, I think that's all the information that I need to get out. So I don't have a date yet for the next stream. I said I'm going to aim for something like every 2 weeks, because every week, not sure if I can make that. If I get one in sooner, I'll try to have it up on YouTube 1 or 2 days before I actually stream, so you have time to see it and mark it. I'm sorry, I should have a schedule or something at this point, but yeah, right now it's a little bit of I just see when I find the time, and then you just have to catch me live. But as always, I will always put up these videos later as video on demand, so you can watch it later. And I always thought about cutting these streams together to something like a small summary for people who don't want to watch the full 3 hours. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for bearing with me while I was looking at weird interfaces for 30 minutes. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your support, and see you on the verse.